Hello, this is Duke Byte. We'll learn the fundamental component of programming in C#, that is variables. Let's create a new project in Unity Hub. Choose 2D template and name the new project. In Assets, let's create a new file for our C# code. Let's create an empty object in the scene to which our script will be attached. You can do this by dragging the file into the inspector field of our object, or click on the Add Component button and enter the name of the file you want to attach. Now let's open the code in the editor. My choice is Visual Studio, but you can use the built-in MonoDevelop or Visual Studio Code. In the newly created file, we already have the default content. Simplifying at the top, we have classes that we can use in our file. Then we have our class that inherits from mono behavior, but let's leave it for later. The important thing is that our class must have the same name as our file name. We already have two functions in the class. The first start is run at the start of the program and the second update is performed every time the frame is refreshed. Let's create the first variable. Generally, the variables are used to store different data that can change during program execution. After moving to Unity, we see that our object in the scene has our variable with an assigned value of 42. The variable declaration consists of defining the level of access to the variable. The default is private, available only in class. We will use public for our convenience, which is available globally. There are still options such as protected or internal available. Then we specify the type of variable in this case. It is an integer and names it age after the equals sign, assign a value of 42 to the variable. Still, we can create variables without giving them value and do it later, for example, in the start function. A float-type variable stores floating point numbers, and the value must end with an F. A string-type variable stores strings, and the value must be in quotation marks. A bool-type variable stores the value true or false. These are the most commonly used types of variables. After switching to Unity, we see that our object has all the variables declared by us. After changing the access modifier to private, the variable is no longer visible in the Unity inspector. But we can change it using the serialize field attribute. Let's turn on the console from Menu, Window, General, Console. Let's see how we can change the value of a variable during program runtime. In the start function, we change the value of the variable name, and using the debug log function, we will display the new value in the console. Then in the update function, we will change the value of the variable again. In the console, we can see two important things that we have talked about before. First of all, the start function did the first and only once, and secondly, in the update function, the variable is written many times during each second due to the nature of this function, and you should remember this and consider whether you want to execute the code in the update function or maybe better in the start function. We can still create variables from the types built into Unity, for example, transform, game object or animator. I hope that the movie was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, I invite you to the comments section below. Don't forget to like this movie and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.